Hey guys, my name's Alex. Thanks for watching Franchise Talk. Today we have an interview with Instant Imprints and Christian Colucci. He's a good friend of mine. I met him a couple of years ago at a convention, at a franchise brokers convention down in Orlando. Great time. But I want him to be able to tell you about this franchise today and everything that it has available to it, because it's of significant importance. Chris, you're up. Give us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Instant Imprints.
Hey Alex, how are you? Thanks for having me on. Instant Imprints is the world's first franchisee, franchisor-owned branding and promotional products solution. By that, we're the only fully integrated franchise system where under one roof we do everything from custom decorated corporate apparel, customized T-shirts and clothing, signage and banners, and logoed promotional items. Everything that every business needs to use to create that sort of visibility for itself in the marketplace. And I don't know of a single business anywhere that doesn't need more visibility, and that's what we help do.
We've seen a couple of your videos. I have a few of them displayed on the website, so if you guys want to check it out, as far as what they're able to do and how they operate in the industry, it's all really important. But I wanted to go over a few things today, and I wanted to go over, some of the hurdles that you guys experienced with working with franchisees and how you help them overcome them.
So there's a few things that we always run into with new franchisees trying to get into the business, and I got to tell you, it's always fun helping guys get over it. But first and foremost is probably if you've never been self-employed before. One of the hardest pieces to overcome is breaking the paycheck addiction. That's always a tough one for aspiring entrepreneurs to be able to do. And the other one is really helping get franchisees comfortable with client interaction and dealing with the customer. You can't be in business for yourself and not sell anything, because if you're not selling something, you're not making any revenue. Whether it's a product or a service, you've still got to sell stuff. And one of the things that makes our training program terrific is we really focus a lot on the business development end of things and helping the franchisee identify who is their ideal target customer and how do they interact with them. So our initial training program starts off as 6 weeks. You'll spend 1 week working in a center, getting familiar with the business and our language and customer interaction. You'll come down to our San Diego Instant Imprints University and spend another 10 days down there, and that'll be entirely focused on marketing, creating your marketing action plan, finalizing and helping you craft your own personal mission in terms of identifying your ideal customer, and then of course the financial management of the business. You'll then come back up to the center. You'll spend, you'll spend 3 weeks working in another center, learning how we make stuff and the production methods that we use. And then prior to your opening, we come out to your location and spend another week to 10 days in your store for your soft opening, making sure your store is set and staged and ready to go. Your staff and your team know how to be able to have a good general level of competence with all of our equipment and everything's working right. After you've been open for 2 weeks, we then start you on our Fast Start program, which is really meant to help you accelerate your growth and deal with that marketing action plan that you got in training that you put together. It's no good sitting in a drawer. So we want to schedule at least 2 hours every week for the next 4 to 5 months to make sure that during that critical startup phase, you're having constant, regular communication with one of us from our team or one of our peer mentors within our own franchise community to help make sure that you're knocking off and implementing the stuff on your marketing action plan that's going to focus on growing your customer base, because that's what you need. The great part about our business is we have a very, very high customer repeat rate, 75 to 80%. So when we get customers, we keep them. You just got to go get 50 or 60 of them. And we have a really nice high average ticket. So it works really nicely. When you get them spending a lot and spending regularly, you'll have a good, healthy business.
Yeah, and that's the key. I mean, having a good, healthy business is what every business owner steps into for success and the reasons why they do things in the first place. So with Instant Imprints, what is the light at the end of the tunnel? and what like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, however you want to look at it. Why be in business with Instant Imprints, and why is that such a driving motivator? What do you have as those driving motivators, and what does that great success look like?
There's a few different ways that I kind of look at it, and I guess for me, I think there's sort of three aspects to a business that really make it successful. You've got to have everybody wants to be in a place where they can be emotionally satisfied at work, right? You can really enjoy what you do and love what you're doing every day. You need to be mentally satisfied every day. I don't think everybody wants to have a boring job that's completely repetitive. You want to have some brain food that's going to make you think, and you want to have something that's financially rewarding too. If you can have all three of those things, you're in position to have a really great career and a really great business opportunity. The pieces that help make why I think anybody gets into our business is it's about what you're building. Nobody gets into Instant Imprints to be able to really generate, nobody buys our business because they want to be able to turn around and just decorate all the t-shirts that they want to do. The t-shirt business is fun, but that's not why you do it. You want to get into our business and really be that business leader in the community, being able to help make a meaningful impact on your business customers and help them grow their business, or help a nonprofit or a school be able to raise money for some other type of facility or raise money in the community. I mean, that's the juice that makes getting out of bed in the morning really, really fun. And when you can do that, that's when it becomes really impactful and meaningful. And that's what makes growing the business tremendously rewarding.
Well, with that in mind, I want to talk about two programs that you'd mentioned, some of your other videos, and a lot of things that you guys do, I think, are contribute a lot to successes with franchises. And that's two things. That's one, that's a Spoken Hub program that you have and that you work with your franchisees on. And two is your franchisee franchisor ownership program. Can you explain both of those real quick and tell us a little bit about them and why that's important?
The very first franchisee franchisor owned franchise system, and we did this last year. We myself and the rest of the leadership team, what we did was we carved out 10% of our company specifically for the franchisees, both new and our existing. We've got a pretty lofty set of goals, and we want to grow our franchise system to be over 500 units in the next 5 years. And I think if you're not joining a franchise that doesn't want to get big and build a strong brand, that's got a lot to do with your brand value, and that's what you're investing in, is a brand and brand value. And if a franchise system isn't going to create that for you, I would be questioning why you want to be involved in that system personally. But with our stock program, every franchisee will be gifted up to 10,000 free common voting shares for every license they have. So if you have a hub and spoke, that's a 3-license deal, you get 30,000 shares for joining our franchise system. There's our CFO. Say hi to John Tilger. Hi, John.
How are you? Who am I meeting?
This is Alex from Franchise Talk. And
hey,
we're
John.
just doing a podcast right now to some potential franchise candidates.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, awesome. Great. It's great to meet. Well, it's good to have them. It's good to have them on. How's everything and how's your day going?
My day's going fine.
That's good. Another day at Instant Imprints. That's awesome. Working with the CFO. Go ahead.
Where are you located?
I'm located out of Jacksonville, Florida. So the weather's been kind of rainy here lately, and but it's been fairly good. So we had a good Easter. The kids were running crazy, and all sorts of family came over. So it was a good Easter, and everything's been going quite well. How's everything going up there for you?
Everything's fine. We had the same thing going on. The Easter hut was just a little bit of mud up here. That's all.
And John is your classic snowbird, so he winters down in
I
Lauderdale.
got out of there before all that rain started down in Florida. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, every summer it rains down here on a daily basis between 2 and 3 o'clock every day, like clockwork. But the one thing you got to know about Jacksonville and Florida is if you don't like the weather, wait 20 minutes. It will change. It would change that fast. But that's good. It's good that he's a snowbird. I love guys who come down to go fishing. So if you find your way down to Jacksonville, let's go fishing because I'm addicted to that. Deep sea or otherwise, whatever you want to do.
Okay, you're on.
All right.
Have a good day. You guys continue.
Yeah. Oh man. So it's great to have him on.
The big thing that makes the stock program to me really, really impactful is it does a few things for everybody. Great businesses are built on people. And there's no denying that. It's not built by me. It's not built by John. It's not any one person or thing. Great businesses are built by people. And in franchises, it's built on the franchisees because of the level of customer service that they provide to their end customers. That's what drives referrals. That's what drives repeat business. That's part of what drives brand value. And for us to grow, customers got to love being able to deal with our stores and our owners. And what I think is really, really important is that when we grow and we want to go public, well, if there's a big liquidity event like that, I think everybody's got to have a piece of the rock and have some skin in the game. And when everybody owns it, it eliminates a lot of the NIMBYism you see in other franchise systems where you can sometimes have franchisees and franchisors that have differing values about what's important. This allows us to work a lot closer with our franchisees. Every franchise agreement is governed by a contract. But I can tell you, you treat owners and your partners differently than you just treat a contract and a contractual relationship. And to me, that's really where the rubber meets the road and where you're going to find some fundamental differences when it comes down to how you deal with the people within the organization. We don't let it just get governed by our contract. It's got to be a lot more about what's that real meaningful interaction and personal relationship that we have and how do we work together? Because there are always issues that creep up in specific markets or in different situations. And what's really important is how do you deal with the stuff that's not addressed in the franchise agreement? Because that's always the tough stuff you got to overcome. And that's where if you're an owner, it's better.
Yeah, it sounds like it. That's really taking that franchisee relationship to the next level with ownership and effort in the company. That's stake across the board. So I love it. And you guys said you're the only ones who do this, right?
The only ones that we know of.
I don't know of any others either. And I look at hundreds. So there's thousands of them out there. So looking at it though, your hub and spoke program, how is that incorporated?
So the hub and spoke is really geared for people who are looking for a little bit more sizable investment, want to be able to really dominate and build a more substantial enterprise than maybe just a single location. If some people are, different businesses are geared for different people. So a single unit's geared for that owner operator. But there's a lot of people out there that want to build a bit more of an enterprise or want to have a bit more of an empire. Or that are looking to, say, dominate a mid-sized market. Well, you can take a mid-sized market and one person can own the rights to develop that entire market. So in our multi-unit program, rather than having, a whole, half a dozen stores in one market that are all the same, what we like to do is make it more efficient and help improve the return on assets for the franchisee and get better capital. So we have a larger central plant, much like a dry cleaner model would be, where there's a little bit more substantial investment in the hub, but that's where all of the main production is then done. And then you outline that hub with 3 to 5 spoke or smaller units that are more retail. You have very limited production, and it allows the owner to then be able to push all their big production through the hub, do all your smaller higher margin, low volume orders in the spokes, and that allows the stores to be able to better capitalize on market presence, share advertising costs, again, build brand value and have more brand awareness from the visibility of the locations, as well as keep all their labor and production in one location. So it's easier to move staff, it's easier to communicate and handle all the production, and move a lot more throughput at one stage. The hub locations really do have a substantially bigger equipment package that allows for a lot more throughput at the central location versus a standard location.
Right. And so how does this compare to a master franchise program? Do you have a master or multi-unit program, and does it just depend on who's coming in or what their situation is?
Well, we've got 3 different levels of programs, and that's a super question, because sometimes you'll hear area and master thrown around in different ways, and different franchisors, they mean different things.
Absolutely.
In our business, we have a single unit franchise. We have a multi-unit franchise, which particularly in food, they call that area development. So we have but really what that is that's a multi-unit investment. So we have the hub and spoke for multi-unit, we have the singles, and then we have a sub-master, which we call an area. For us, a master is the rights to own an international country. So if you want to develop Mexico, let's say, that would be an international master license. If you wanted to, say, develop, Alabama, that would be a state, which would be considered an area development. And the area franchisees, their role is really twofold. They have to help train and support franchisees, and they also have to help us find and recruit franchisees, as well as own and operate a pilot center for a couple of years. With our master program or our area development program, we share the fees, both initial and ongoing, with that franchise developer, so that everybody is kind of tied to the success of the franchisees at store level. So everybody is there's a little bit of piece of the action for everyone, but that allows the local franchisee to know that they're going to have local support. It's a lot easier to support somebody when they're only across town, or they're an hour away, and they've got the expertise to know the local market much better than, say, I would from Toronto, or the folks in San Diego would. We've just got we can provide better local service that way, and that's a win for everybody.
Awesome. And with that, and with some of these new, with your definitions, and I love your definitions, by the way, because that clears a lot of things up. I've heard those terms chucked around very loosely as well, so that's awesome that you have that laid out. And as far as investment platforms, I imagine that could be very profitable at different stages, and that the break-evens and turnover rates are very, very good too. So just to kind of move on to a more fun question, just to end this up, what is important about being an entrepreneur? What is it great to be a franchisee? Essentially, for those people who may be playing or toying with this idea, even though they may be further in the process, they maybe have lots of knowledge on it, but if they're toying with the idea and they're on the edge, why is it important? Why do you love entrepreneurship? Why do you love franchises?
For me personally, there's a couple of things that I love about it. First and foremost, it's about what it is you're building. I'm the type of person that, for me, what we do, I think, is really meaningful. I think it can greatly help change the lives and make a better life and better lifestyle for anybody. I think anybody who gets into their own business for themselves is doing it to build a better life. Maybe that better life is different for each person. Some people, it's about having a family business. For other people, it's about being able to control their own destiny. Other people, it's about being able to get paid commensurate with the effort that they put in. But at the end of the day, the reason I invested and I put my money into this is because I love what we do and the impact we make on our franchisees and our franchise owners. And I like being able to control my own destiny. The hardest part was breaking the paycheck addiction at first, but I wouldn't trade it for anybody or for anything. And I just think what we do, I think we can really make an impact on people. I think we're building something that is of tremendous value and importance to the industry. That's what gets me out of bed every day, and that's why I get juiced when I come into the office every morning.
So you mentioned that paycheck addiction, that paycheck addiction. it's rough for a lot of my clients to go through it and to try and make that leap or that jump. And that paycheck addiction, that, as you described, is very accurate to what most people have problems pulling away from. Can you tell them what that looks like? Why it's a good thing? Why it's a good thing to make that transition, and what you would perceive to need to make or break, or steps in breaking that addiction?
That's a whopper. But I mean, it's a lot of, it's probably more a mentality thing. When you're younger, it's probably a little bit easier. You can live like a bit of a pauper, and it's not such a problem. For people who are a bit older, particularly if they're in their early 40s or 50s and they've got kids or dependents still, trying to put kids through college, you know, having a paycheck come in every day, whether it's worth it or not, the fact is you've got a steady stream of money that you can budget with. When you're on your own, you may go a few months before you get paid, and you've got to be able to have the savings and the wherewithal to deal with that, and that can be tough and it can be trying. But once you get past the need to absolutely have to have a paycheck every week, it becomes a lot more liberating, because when you win, you tend to win a lot bigger. And once you get the business up to the point that it's stable, it covers its nuts. One of the great things about business ownership is it's not as much about what you make. It's about what you keep. And as a small business owner, there's a lot of additional tax incentives that go with being a small business owner that you don't get as an employee. And so you can get paid a lot more commensurate with your efforts, and you can do a lot more. You don't need to make, say, $200,000 a year. You can make 90 and bring home the same amount of money, just because of how the tax benefits work for being a small business owner. So it's a lot more about, as I said, what you keep, not what you make. And you have to be able to speak to your accountant about how that works. But it's very beneficial once you get used to that. And I mean, it's a lot more enjoyable when you want to take your kids to the soccer game. You don't have to ask your boss for permission. You don't have your career and your livelihood controlled by somebody else. I mean, nothing sucks more than coming in and getting fired one day. And sure, they give you a package and say, get out of here. But when you work for somebody, you're only worth what your cost is to replace, not what your true worth is to the organization. And I mean, getting past the paycheck addiction is a big step, but boy, it's the most liberating thing you'll ever do.
All right. So guys, you heard it from himself, and that was a brilliant explanation. I like that, because overall, that's what many people don't realize. They don't realize the gravity of the steps you're taking towards entrepreneurship, or you don't understand really what you're doing to take those first steps. You know that you want to do it. A lot of people understand, particularly if you're a little bit later in age, if you're middle-aged and trying to make those decisions with colleges, kids going to college and trying to make and raise a family. I understand, but that feeling afterward, that liberation, as he put. Is probably the most significant thing about being a business owner, is what you keep and what you have and your net worth growth. And over time, that's going to pay in dividends. So thanks for watching Franchise Talk. I appreciate you guys hopping on and watching. Take it easy. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and take it and have a great day. And I hope you guys had a happy Easter. Thanks for watching Franchise Talk. Please subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to like and share us on social media. We are committed to assisting you so that you find franchises without the frustrations of internet searching and sites selling your information before you even get a chance to talk to franchises. If you want to simplify your life and have someone to facilitate your information collection, I'm here to be your personal resource and one-on-one coach. If you would like to be a guest on the show, to ask franchise bigwigs questions, or contact me for franchise support, check out for my contact information below down in the description. Thanks for watching.